Let's go ahead and solve these two practice problems. Give yourself about maybe 5 to 6 minutes. And make sure you do it in pencil first. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and see how you did on these practice problems. And make sure you correct your mistakes if you made a mistake with pen. So let's take a look at number one. Number one, you want to prove that these two are identical. So cosecant theta will be 1 over sine theta minus cosine theta over sine theta. Since sine theta is a common denominator, you're going to get 1 minus cosine theta over sine theta. Now these two doesn't look equal to each other, so we have to probably take a few more steps. What I could do is I could multiply the top and bottom by the conjugate of 1 minus cosine theta. And then see what happens. So when you do that, when you multiply this out, again, the middle terms will cancel out. And you'll get 1 minus cosine squared theta over sine theta times quantity 1 plus cosine theta. Okay, now what is 1 minus cosine squared theta? Remember Pythagorean identity? That's going to be sine squared theta so sine theta cancels out. You're going to get sine theta over 1 plus cosine theta. Okay? And that's how you prove that these two are identical. Let's take a look at number two. Number two, obviously the left side looks more complicated than the right side. So the common denominator is 1 minus cosine theta. So 1 becomes 1 minus cosine theta over 1 minus cosine theta minus sine squared theta over 1 minus cosine theta. And we have to prove that's equal to negative cosine theta. And when you combine the numerators, you will get 1 minus cosine theta minus sine squared theta all over 1 minus cosine theta. Now, what is sine squared theta in terms of cosine theta? Well, remember the, let's go over here. Remember sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is 1. So you know that sine squared theta is 1 minus cosine squared theta. So I'm going to use a substitution. Using the substitution, you will get 1 minus cosine theta minus quantity 1 minus cosine squared theta all over 1 minus cosine theta. So that's going to be equal to 1 minus cosine theta minus 1 plus cosine squared theta all over 1 minus cosine theta. Okay, now what happens here? Negative 1 and positive 1 cancels out. And then you got negative cosine theta plus cosine squared theta. What is the common factor? The common factor is negative cosine theta. When you take it out, you get 1 minus cosine theta. Make sure you distribute and see if you get the same thing over here. So it's going to be 1 over cosine theta. What happened? This cancels out right here. And the final answer is negative cosine theta, which you have to prove. So I hope you did well on your practice problems. If you did not, make sure you go over thoroughly where you made a mistake.